Please remain standing and join us in singing the national anthem. Please stay standing. Please stay standing for the saying of the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good afternoon, members of our boards, President Sullivan, Chancellor Henry, ladies and gentlemen, faculty, students, members of the class of 2018. It is a great pleasure to welcome you all to the 2014 Convocation. We're very pleased to have together under one really big roof students, faculty, staff, alumni, parents, friends of the college. We're particularly happy to have here today the President of the University of Virginia, Teresa Sullivan. Right now, our freshmen are probably thinking this is sort of an odd event. It's odd that we commence your academic career with a convocation and we end it with a commencement. And it's odd that there's some guy in a funny hat carrying a big club. That club is called the mace. And yes, it used to be a weapon very long ago. And yes, whenever we have a procession, the mace always precedes the chancellor. So don't mess with the chancellor. You may also think that it's somewhat odd that we're all dressed like Galileo. Well, don't knock it. Right now, I feel strangely like a superhero. What I'm wearing is, in fact, academic regalia. Your faculty wear medieval academic robes as part of an ancient tradition, and also because they're really quite comfortable. I recommend you get some. The downside of these robes is that they're obviously a Northern European invention, and they're not well suited to Virginia in August. On the other hand, they really are quite roomy. The puffy sleeves will easily accommodate a couple of baguettes, a wedge of cheese, an ink pot, quills, a New Testament, an oil lantern, and 2 bottles of Cabernet. And I'm actually carrying all those things right now. The real reason that we're wearing these outfits is that what we're doing today we've been doing for more than 1,000 years, and we'd look sort of dumb if we stopped now. In America, when something is 200 years old, it's old. But what we're doing today, we have been doing for about 1,000 years. In other words, we were doing this for 600 years before the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth. The purpose of this convocation is to welcome a new class of freshmen and to begin a new academic year. 1,000 years ago, when we were new at this, the word university had a slightly different meaning. The Latin word universitas meant guild or union. The university was the guild of those who studied, both teachers and students. At some point over 1,000 years, the university changed. It changed into a where, but way back in the early days, it was a who. It was simply a community. Today, we welcome our freshman class as the newest members of our community. Before we continue, I do want to mark one sad milestone for our community. I remarked earlier on the presence of the mace in the processional. The mace is always carried by a senior faculty member. Today, it is carried by our friend Garrett Sheldon. For many years, in fact, as long as I've been on campus, it was carried by our colleague and friend, Professor Betty Humphreys. Betty passed away suddenly in June. She was our longest-serving faculty member. I only had the chance to know Betty for 4 short years. When I arrived on campus, I quickly recognized her importance to our scholarly community and especially to the business department. She exhibited a cheerful disposition and an indomitable spirit. She loved to teach, and she treasured her contact with students. Even the last months of her life, as she was undergoing medical treatments for cancer, she continued to teach one class online. She was always kind and patient with every member of our college family, and they in turn returned this affection. We will all miss her. To our freshmen, I want you to know that this truly is a community that you are joining. As a professor and administrator, I feel very fortunate to be at one of the nation's few public liberal arts colleges, a place with a real sense of academic community where students and faculty know each other by name, a place that provides a high-quality liberal arts education at a price the common citizen can afford. Many, many years ago, when I was a college student, I had a more typical state university experience. I went to a big state research university with more than 40,000 students. Very few of my professors ever knew my name, and I never had the chance to be part of an academic community. That will not happen to you here. I can assure you that this is a great community, and these are good people. I feel very lucky to be here as a teacher, and I think you are lucky to be here as students. So be open, work hard, take the opportunities that are offered you. This is the one time in your life that you'll really be free to devote yourself to cultivating your mind. So take advantage of it. Let's begin our academic year. It is my honor now to introduce the 8th President of the University of Virginia, Teresa Sullivan. President Sullivan is a person of remarkable accomplishments. She has earned a PhD from the University of Chicago and written or co-written 6 books and over 80 scholarly articles. Previously, she was the Provost of the University of Michigan and Executive Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs for the University of Texas System. Today, she leads one of America's greatest universities. These are great achievements. You should be impressed. I am. But I'll tell you what impressed me most about Teresa Sullivan is her great humanity. This college has been through some tough times, but President Sullivan has always been there for us and in ways she didn't have to be. Considering that she oversees more than 12,000 employees, an operating budget of over $2.5 billion, this little college is a very, very tiny part of her responsibilities. Trust me, in Charlottesville, they have more waitlisted freshmen than we have students. The toughest time that most of us can recall was the year of 2012, following the sudden death of our last chancellor, David Pryor. When David died suddenly, President Sullivan got on a plane and she flew to Wise. And she kept coming to Wise at least once a month. I remember one particular event about a month after David's death. He had been scheduled to speak at a weekend recruiting event on our campus, and President Sullivan volunteered to take his place. That Saturday morning, it snowed. It snowed quite a bit, an inch or two, and I managed to make it across town. But seeing all the snow on the roads, I knew that we wouldn't have many students, and I pretty much figured that President Sullivan would have to cancel. And I was right. We had a handful of students, but I was very surprised to see President Sullivan there promptly at 8 o'clock. I went up and I told her that I was shocked to see her. She explained that in order to beat the storm, she had flown into the Tri-Cities the night before after her work and then rented a car and driven up to Wise. That morning, she just scraped the ice off her rental car and driven herself across town. She assured me that it wasn't that big a deal. She used to live in Michigan. This is just one small example. I think I speak for all our faculty and our college leadership when I say we feel a very special bond with President Sullivan. We're very privileged to have her as our leader and today as our speaker. I present to you the President of the University of Virginia, Teresa Sullivan.
Thank you, Sandy. Let me ask you all to please be seated. Chancellor Henry, faculty, staff, members of the College Board, the Alumni Board, members of the Foundation Board who are here, and most of all to the students. I'm delighted and grateful to be with you for this opportunity to celebrate the opening of the academic year at the University of Virginia's College at Wise. I offer a special welcome to the newest students, the freshmen who are beginning your studies this fall. You begin in an auspicious anniversary year, and I know you will make the most of your time while you're here. This college and the University of Virginia share a great hope for the future. It's hope for our students, for the future of this institution, for the future of Virginia, and for its people. Just as we have a shared future, Charlottesville and Wise have a shared past. The story of the creation of the College at Wise is a classic story of ingenuity and grit and old-fashioned determination. Longtime faculty and administrators know this story well, but the new students may be interested to learn about it. In 1954, 60 years ago, local residents convinced officials at UVA to open a branch campus here in Southwest Virginia. The founding was a collaborative effort. Wise County officials donated property and buildings to house the first classes, and local residents collected and contributed several $1,000s to furnish and equip the classrooms. Before 1954, there were no public colleges in Virginia west of Radford. This meant that for young people in this part of the Commonwealth, there was no visible model of higher education to aspire to until this college was born. What happened with the college founders in 1954 was picking up where Thomas Jefferson left off more than 100 years earlier. For many years, Mr. Jefferson worked on a plan to create a statewide system of education in Virginia, but he failed to gather the necessary support in the General Assembly. Mr. Jefferson believed that an educated citizenry was the key to a strong Commonwealth and a healthy democracy throughout the American Republic. He dreamed, to quote his own words, of a system of general instruction to reach every description of our citizens. Today in Wise, we see a modern manifestation of Mr. Jefferson's dream. From somewhat humble beginnings, the College at Wise has evolved into one of the nation's top public liberal arts colleges. New students should feel proud that you're joining this distinguished community. So for those of you who are joining the college this fall, let me offer a few words of advice. First, I encourage you to study broadly during your time as a student here. You know, studying here isn't just a matter of the classes you take. It's also a matter of how you spend your time outside of class, what professors you talk to, what student groups you learn about. Be curious, dig deep, and explore the full range of learning. Some of you may already know what you want to do when you have your career after you leave college, but others of you may have no idea what you want to do after you graduate. But either way, you probably have some thoughts about your strengths and weaknesses as a student. In high school, maybe you were always good at writing, or maybe you were good at math, or maybe you're the one everybody always turned to when they had a computer problem. So, you think you should stick to those subjects and focus on the areas where you're already strong. My advice is don't pigeonhole yourself. If you're good at math, study math by all means. But also, try something new. Study art, or philosophy, or sociology, or economics. Learn a new language. Investigate the full range of the curriculum. You will have time to narrow your focus later on in your final years of college, and certainly in your careers. But this time is your time to learn broadly and explore. Because you chose to enroll at UVa-Wise, you've made your statement about a belief in the value of education in the liberal arts. That liberal arts education teaches us to be critical thinkers, to be perceptive of the world around us and acquire thoughtful habits of mind, to write clearly and persuasively, and to integrate multiple perspectives before arriving at a decision. These broad skills, as much as any specialized technical skill, are fundamental to the work of the 21st century. Having that capacity to integrate different perspectives and draw connections between different fields is crucial to the modern workplace. So many of today's top companies, Apple, Google, Facebook, to name a few, were created at the nexus of technology and design and other fields. The complex problems facing our country today are going to require multidisciplinary approaches. Employers tell us they want students, who are going to be their future employees, to have experience working in multidisciplinary teams because that's how work gets done in the 21st century. Liberal arts education is one of the best ways to prepare for that teamwork. To both the new and the returning students beginning this academic year at UVa-Wise, I encourage you to work hard and to have fun, but in appropriate ways. Cultivate within yourselves a spirit of independence, but remember to be grateful to your parents and your other family members because they made sacrifices to help you reach this day. And remember to thank the teachers who inspired you along the way. Remember also what Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote. The force of character is cumulative. This means that the hard work you do every day and the decisions that you make every day will add up over time to the person of consequence you will become. And it will add up to the impact you will have on the world after you leave this place. To the faculty and staff members, thank you for your commitment to teaching and supporting our students. You nurture our greatest product, educated men and women who leave here to contribute to the careers and communities they enter beyond this campus. In terms of preparing for the strength of the future generation and the strength of our country, you do an important job. And to all of you, I give you my best wishes as we begin this academic year. Next Sunday, I will deliver remarks to new students in Charlottesville who are beginning their studies this fall. They will take their honor pledge on Sunday, just as you take your honor pledge this morning and install your new honor court chair. That means that our communities in Charlottesville and here in Wise share more than the University of Virginia name. We are connected by a commitment to honor and to integrity, and the principles of personal responsibility and accountability. These values and principles bind us together as members of the UVA family. And I'm delighted to welcome today's new students and their parents to the family. I now have the honor to administer the oath to your new SGA President, Shannon Walker. Shannon, will you please come forward? Shannon, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Shannon Walker,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will fulfill the duties
that I will fulfill the duties
of Student Government Association President
of Student Government Association President
entrusted to me
entrusted to me
to the utmost of my ability,
to the utmost of my ability,
and to support and uphold
and to support and uphold
the Constitution of the Student Government Association
the Constitution of the Student Government Association
and the honor
and the honor
of the University of Virginia's College at Wise.
of the University of Virginia's College at Wise.
Congratulations, Shannon.
Would the freshman class please stand? You are now an integral part of the University of Virginia's College at Wise community. Your presence here indicates that you already understand the importance of higher education. Realize that you are about to embark on a great adventure. As the newest members of the UVa-Wise community, you are called upon to expand and explore your horizons, to take advantage of vast knowledge of our faculty and of our many resources, to be open to people who are different from you and learn from them, to master the art of accepting academic challenges, to get involved, ask questions, savor your experience, and never give up, to embrace life, be the best you can be, and make the most of the opportunities that await you. Do you accept this charge?
Thomas Jefferson envisioned a university that would not just train scholars, but also prepare citizens. In keeping with this vision, at the College at Wise, the administration of academic integrity is undertaken by the students themselves. The office of Honor Court Chair is an important position that undertakes this role. I'd like to call Cynthia James come forward and take the oath of the Honor Court Chair. Cynthia, repeat after me. I,
Cynthia James,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will fulfill the duties
that I will fulfill the duties
of the Honor Court Chair
of the Honor Court Chair
as entrusted to me
as entrusted to me
by the students and faculty
by the students and faculty
of the University of Virginia's College at Wise.
at the University of Virginia's College at Wise.
I will support and uphold to the utmost of my ability
I will support and uphold to the utmost of my ability
the Constitution of the Honor Court
the Constitution of the Honor Court
and the tradition of the University of Virginia's College at Wise.
and the tradition of the University of Virginia's College at Wise. Will the entire student body please stand? Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I pledge on my honor as a student of the University of Virginia's College at Wise that I will uphold and respect the integrity and principles of the honor system. As a student, I understand it is my responsibility to act honorably in all phases of academic life in order to ensure a position of trust among faculty, staff, the community at large, and my fellow students. Thank you.
Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce the new faculty. And we have the largest group of new faculty this year that we've had in many, many years. We have 15 new faculty members. I'm going to, as I call your name, would you please stand up and face the students so that they can see who you are? Bruce Cahoon, Buchanan Professor in Biology. Anthony Cascio, Assistant Professor of Philosophy. Yang Feng, Assistant Professor of Communication. Elizabeth Hirschman, Hill Smitty Richmond, Professor of Business. Christy Lee, Assistant Professor of Music. Matthew Lockaby, Instructor in German. Emily Polina, Assistant Professor in Biology. Kathleen Schmidt, Assistant Professor in Psychology. Sergeant Thomas Scholl, Lecturer in Military Science. It's here somewhere. Mike Schell, Assistant Professor of Biology. Cody Talbert, Assistant Professor of Physical Education. Christine Weisglass, Assistant Professor of Spanish. Matthew Williams, Associate Professor of Sport Management. Kurt Walliver, Assistant Professor of Chemistry. Mark Sandifer, Instructor in Military Science. Let's just welcome them all. Thank you.
Will the faculty please stand without groaning? Together, faculty and students form the heart and soul of the college, and their relationship is complementary. One cannot thrive without the other. As we prepare to begin the academic year, it is appropriate for members of the faculty to renew our dedication to all of our students, from incoming freshmen to outgoing seniors. Faculty, you are called upon to welcome, encourage, and care about our students, to serve as mentors and role models, to perceive and encourage their academic potential and strengths, to recognize and address their difficulties and shortcomings, to foster intellectual curiosity and instill a deep respect for scholarship, research, and academic integrity, and to work in partnership with students to be the best members of the UVa-Wise community that you can be. Do you accept this charge? Thank you.
I alluded earlier to the year of 2012. I was referring to the time between the death of our last Chancellor, David Pryor, in February 2012, and the arrival on campus of Chancellor Donna Henry in January of 2013. This was a difficult and unsettling year for the college community. Personally, I learned a number of things. I learned that colleges are remarkably resilient. Somehow the senior staff managed to run the place for 10 months, and nothing imploded. On the other hand, I also learned that while administration often seems removed from the learning that occurs every day in classrooms and labs, a college does need a leader. It needs a leader not to tell people what to do every day, but to provide vision, to champion the educational mission of higher education, to be an ethical cornerstone that sets the character of the institution, and to inspire all of us to strive for excellence. Our next speaker, Chancellor Donna Price Henry, is all of these things. I present to you the Chancellor of the college, our leader, Donna Henry.
Good morning. To our returning students and faculty, as well as to our new students, both freshmen and transfer, and our new faculty and staff members, Welcome to UVa-Wise. I'm so glad that you're all here. It's been quiet around here this summer. And to our special guests, Marcia Gillum, Chair of the College Advisory Board, Marvin Gillum, former Board of Visitors member, Donita Williams, and Karen Mullins, and Tyler Giles, College Board members, and Alan Henry, my husband. Thank you for joining us on this special day as we open the fall semester. And most especially, a warm thank you to all of the students and clubs and organizations who joined the procession to the David J. Pryor Convocation Center today. This convocation is special as it marks the 60th anniversary of the first fall semester at the University of Virginia's College at Wise. Happy birthday, UVa-Wise. We will look forward to other 60th anniversary celebrations throughout the year. I hear that on September 13th, the SGA will mark the celebration of the anniversary of the very first day of classes, which were held at Clinch Valley College in 1954, by serving birthday cake at the football game, which happens to be our first home game. My family and I will host a big event at the Inn at Wise in December to celebrate the first meeting when the possibility of our existence was first discussed. Today, we hold our opening convocation with its impressive processional to reinforce to all of us that we're a community. UVA-Wise is a place where we learn, we live and work in a community of mutual respect, integrity, stewardship, and excellence. In fact, these words are our watchwords. It is up to each of us to uphold and live these values. You've just witnessed the installation of the SGA president and the honor court chair, and you heard Professor Scalia and SGA president Shannon Walker charge the faculty and students. We do these things as we begin our year together to remind us of our commitment to our mission, to each other, and to the beliefs that we hold dear. Convocation is also the time to assess where we are as an institution, as well as to look ahead to the coming year and beyond. It wasn't by accident that all of our new award-winning admissions literature asked the question, "Are you UVA-Wise?" I would definitely say yes. We are UVA-Wise. Last year when I spoke, we had just finished our final draft of Envisioning 2020, the college's strategic plan, and we had begun our work in earnest. Let me briefly tell you about some of our early E2020 successes and some of the things that you will see unfolding this year. E2020 outlines how UVA-Wise plans to continue our efforts in creating a diverse, supportive, and healthy community. Our commitment to the citizens of Southwest Virginia is steadfast, but we have also committed ourselves to creating a more geographically diverse student body, which will enrich our community and our students' educational experience. A longtime employee mentioned to me recently that it wasn't too long ago that we thought recruiting students from Roanoke provided geographic diversity. But today, over half of our Virginia students come from east of Roanoke, Hampton Roads, Northern Virginia. UVA-Wise also enrolls students from 14 other states close by like Kentucky and Tennessee, but also California, New York, Florida, and several states in between. And this academic year, we're welcoming students from 11 foreign countries, including Brazil, Canada, Chile, China, Czech, Germany, Ghana, Rwanda, Russia, Spain, and the Ukraine. Welcome, everyone. To create an even more supportive community, we spent a significant time last year investigating how we can help our students to more quickly and deeply engage here and thrive at the college. We've made some changes to our expedition program because of that research, and I want to thank our expedition student leaders who are helping our newest community members settle in. Would Cassandra, Jody, Glenn, Caleb, Vince, Alyssa, Jess, Jacob, Sean, Ken, Marissa, Caitlin, Maddie, Charmaine, Haley, Shannon, and Caitlin please stand and be recognized? These are our expedition leaders. Thank you so much. Our research and planning last year also resulted in 2 new ways for us to enhance our supportive community. First, we offered a bridge program this summer to assist students in their transition to college. And second, we're setting up new avenues for our freshmen to better navigate their academic experience. Our staff coaches will guide students in a myriad of ways, from getting support on scheduling and managing their classes, to learning our peculiar academic terms and deadlines, to connecting to the faculty in their planned major as they simultaneously explore their many options here. Besides our efforts in creating a more diverse and supportive community, I want to especially emphasize our dedication to creating a healthy UVa-Wise community. The opening of the Winston Ely Health and Wellness Center last week, with its many wonderful amenities, gives us one amazing opportunity to recommit ourselves to living healthy lifestyles. The Ely Center serves as a visible symbol of our commitment. And if you haven't been in the facility, I hope you will visit soon to take advantage of the impressive equipment, the new and returning fitness classes, as well as the wellness programming that we're planning for the future. I hear terms like insanity, virtual racing, Jacob's Ladder, things that I don't know much of, you probably do. But if you don't, stop by and see what the Wellness Center has to offer. We're also taking this opportunity to do even more. Creating a healthy community includes taking care of each other and ourselves. In the last months, you've probably read news reports about the issue of sexual misconduct on college campuses across the country. Sexual misconduct is gender-based discrimination in that it prevents individuals from fully engaging in our academic program and community. And whether you are a member of our student body, our faculty, or staff, you have the right to be full members of this community. Last year, through our first Red Flag campaign, we educated our student body about dating violence, and as a result, UVa-Wise recently became a full partner in this statewide effort. For this year, we've strengthened our sexual misconduct policy, and we'll be doing even more education to raise awareness about sexual misconduct. We've invested in more training for our response team, investigators, senior staff, and others, and we are serious about this work. I entreat every member of our UVa-Wise community to be responsible in creating a safe and healthy environment here by stepping up and saying something if you see or experience sexual misconduct. Again, step up and say something. Over the next months, you will hear this message again and again as we receive more information about this issue. As a corollary, we're ramping up our work in preventing alcohol abuse. Alcohol is the #1 drug identified with sexual assault on college campuses. So in partnership with Frontier Health and ABC, we will be instituting Be Wiser, Be Responsible. It's a campaign that will provide information on the mature management of alcohol. Let me be clear, very clear. UVa-Wise will aggressively investigate all forms of discrimination, including gender-based discrimination. Each of us, all of us, must do our part in sustaining our community. It is my responsibility. It is your responsibility. It is our responsibility. Teaching and learning are at the core of our existence, and E2020 is guiding our work to improve the educational experience at UVa-Wise. Having a dedicated, talented, and qualified faculty is one of our most important strengths. We lost a treasure when we lost Betty Humphreys this summer. I know our business students will miss her, as will we all. I enjoyed getting to know Betty through her work with the Future Business Leaders of America. The FBLA was one of her passions. She enjoyed working with high school teachers and students to support their interest in business careers. Thank you, Betty, for all that you gave and did for the college. This fall, we're excited as we welcome 15 new faculty members who are joining our dedicated cadre of faculty. We're so happy that you're all here. And I want to give a special shout out to 2 new faculty members, Bruce Cahoon and Elizabeth Hirschman, who are filling our new endowed chairs in natural sciences and business. This is the fruition of a commitment I made to the college last year to fill these positions, so welcome. In June, we completed the second year of our 6-year effort to make our faculty salaries more competitive and to adequately compensate faculty who have invested their time and expertise here, especially at the associate professor level. I'm pleased to report that in all faculty ranks, we've outpaced our sister institutions in the Council of Public Liberal Arts Colleges in the percentage of faculty salary increases and are getting closer to the average faculty salary by discipline. The senior staff and I remain committed to do everything we can to complete this 6-year faculty salary adjustment program. We also increased support for faculty to attend and present at national and regional conferences by over 70%. We improved our library and academic budgets to add books, equipment, and other academic resources. We also identified external resources to support student travel to present research at meetings. Our commitment to increasing student interest in science, technology, engineering, math, and nursing is evidenced through our enhanced admitted student day, which we held in March. In addition, this summer, our faculty offered a week-long camp for students in grades 6 through 8 called the Summer Program in Robotics and Intelligent Technology, as well as a 5-week class for incoming freshmen with no fees who don't plan to major in a technology fee called the Summer Program in Technology and Creativity. Faculty also launched regular Makers Days for students, local entrepreneurs, and community members to come and use our new 3D laser printers, as well as offering astronomy programming, competitions, and labs for elementary school students, and expanded our programming at the observatory that drew dozens. This year, we will continue our work seeking national accreditation for our chemistry program, as well as our exploration of adding national accreditation in music, art, and business. We'll be conducting 2 feasibility studies. One will study the feasibility of offering an online RN to BSN nursing program, and the other will focus on the feasibility of offering collaborative graduate programs. Professor Tom Costa and members of our Quality Enhancement Committee are speaking with various groups on campus to solicit your input for a plan to improve our academic program through a proposed Writing Across the Disciplines initiative. And of course, work continues on our SACS COC reaffirmation of accreditation process with the massive decennial report due in March. Our undergraduate research program is expanding, as are our student internships. Last year, we initiated a new test prep fund for students interested in graduate or professional programs. This year, we're hoping more of our humanities students will take advantage of this opportunity. Please be sure to reach out to the provost to apply for the test prep funds. Our resident students have hopefully noticed the renovations in our residence halls. The bright colors look wonderful in Martha Randolph, and I'm envious of the new couches in Commonwealth. I've promised to go hang out and hide there, so if you can't find me in my office, you'll know where to look. I still look up in enormous wonder at the crane, which is helping to construct our new 6-story, $37 million library, and I'm told that the structure will have a roof by the end of the fall semester. I wanted to extend a special thank you to the students living in the residence halls surrounding the library construction project. I know it's not easy to hear the trucks, hammers, and drills day and night. Remember, though, that these construction projects are a symbol of progress and a signal of the future of the college, that we are state-of-the-art, undergoing constant renovation and renewal. A central goal in Envisioning 2020 plan is to increase our personal and collective public service and civic engagement. I challenge all of us, students, faculty, and staff, to seek new avenues for public service and civic engagement, whether it's through a club or an organization, a graded classroom project, a personal commitment to participate in our day of service, or other ongoing outreach commitments. As part of our service, we're building closer ties with our region institutionally because the prosperity of the college and our region are symbiotic. Our Office of Economic Development, in partnership with the Appalachian Prosperity Project, published a strategic blueprint for entrepreneurship last year that was recognized as a model by the Virginia Rural Jobs Council. And soon, a strategic blueprint on advanced manufacturing will be released. UVa-Wise is also stepping up our efforts in recruiting and supporting research and development companies interested in moving to the region, with new opportunities for faculty and students to become involved. Speaking of prosperity, let me say a bit about the college's resources. Unfortunately, the state's revenues are down. We should be hearing soon from Richmond on whether or not we will have a budget cut in this budget year. However, if we do, I know that you, our staff, faculty, and administrators will be good stewards of our resources. You have my pledge and commitment that the senior staff and I will think as creatively as we can to minimize the negative effects of any budget cuts that may come. However, on a very positive note about resources, our endowment now totals $71.5 million. This level of endowment support for the college is bigger than any endowment at any of our sister COPLAC institutions and many endowments of much larger and older institutions in Virginia. Our development team raised a record $13.2 million in gifts over the last academic year, which included 21 new endowed scholarship funds. We also received several other endowed funds in support of academic enhancement, campus beautification, and student travel. Our biggest single endowed gift this year was unrestricted and will provide funding for our greatest needs and enable bold initiatives to better serve our students. There are many, many other good things that are happening, from the Phase 1 launch of our new website, which will be showing up later this fall semester, to programs and activities of our staff council and SGA, to adding lacrosse as a new sport and successfully completing the second year of our 3-year process for full NCAA Division II membership. And I hope to see everyone out at our Mountain East Conference games. We're meeting these teams for the second year, and we're much better prepared for competition. Go Big Red is the new athletic slogan, and you will see me, along with my family, in the stands cheering on our student athletes. Go Cavs! So I hope you believe, as I do, that UVa-Wise is on a compelling and clear path toward even greater vitality and distinction. I'm honored to lead such a passionate community that embraces our mission as a public liberal arts institution, which has the capacity and the wisdom to keep our college moving forward and is eager to do so in a spirit of mutual respect, integrity, stewardship, and excellence. I wish each of you a wonderful and productive academic year. Thank you very much.
Well, we've come to the conclusion of the convocation that commences your academic year. Sorry, I felt some sort of strange visceral need to say that. Personally, I'm pleased to see my colleagues again, heartened by a promising new class of freshmen, eager to start teaching, and very happy to be taking off these robes. Before we break up, I do want to remind you, if you somehow missed it, that this is not the end of our day. It's really just the beginning. We have all sorts of good stuff. We've got a picnic and free gifts and tables with student activities, and my favorite, a petting zoo. You need to go and check it out because I don't want you to think I make stuff up. We actually do have a petting zoo. So I want to thank you all for joining us, wish you an excellent academic year to come, and ask that the audience please stand or remain standing until the recessional has left the Convocation Center. Will the Grand Marshal, faculty marshals, and flag bearers please come forward for the recessional?